Ukraine. That's where every camera, every microphone, and every human being's attention is focused right now.
Russian forces have entered Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv.
On February the 24th, Russia initiated a military attack on Ukraine in an attempt to take control of the entire country. And just this week, Russia announced that they are putting their nuclear forces on high alert against a country with 0 nuclear weapons, whilst under no nuclear threat from any other nation. What's happening in this world is extremely concerning, and that's why it's so important that we must not sit back and watch, but instead we must learn and take action. Here are 7 important lessons that we can all learn from what's happening in Ukraine right now. And in this video, we're also going to talk about how you can take immediate action. 1. When someone shows you their true colors, believe them. Russian President Vladimir Putin has not recognized Ukraine's legitimacy going back nearly 2 decades, when he wrote in a 5,000-word essay saying that the collapse of the Soviet Union was a major geopolitical disaster in which tens of millions of our co-citizens found themselves outside Russian territory. He then went on to say that the Ukraine was entirely created by Russia. Despite the fact that nearly 60% of Ukrainians want to join the European Union, Russia has been sending hundreds of thousands of troops to the Ukrainian border for the past few months, and no one has tried to stop them. This invasion was not random, nor a surprise. It was happening right in front of our eyes. And our world leaders did not take this threat seriously enough, which leads to lesson number 2. History repeats itself. Have we not seen this movie before? Have we not lived through wars before? We already know how this story ends. It is no accident that World War I and World War II came right after the previous plague. Plagues lead to civil unrest. Civil unrest leads to war. In the early 20th century, millions of people had died. Economies were ravaged and people were tired. And corrupt governments took advantage of fragile citizens. I don't want you to take my word for it, but I want you to open your eyes and ask yourself the following questions. Has the last 2 years of the pandemic exhausted you? Are you financially strained? Are you feeling like each day brings up a whole new world catastrophe? Are you feeling helpless? And then I want you to think about who might be benefiting from you feeling that way. Whilst the majority of the population's pensions funds are shrinking, along with the tumbling economy, 2 major weapon corporation stocks are up 20% since the beginning of 2022. People are benefiting from this war, and it's not you, and it's not me, and it's definitely not the people of Ukraine. They are not giving up without a fight, which leads me to point number 3. Be the person who fights for what you believe in. Over 300,000 refugees have fled Ukraine over the past 7 days, whilst tens of millions have stayed behind to fight. Mothers have been sitting in underground shelters with their children. Men have been training to protect their loved ones. The people of Ukraine did not want this, but they are fighting with everything they have to end it. I personally know people on my team who are in Ukraine right now, and they're terrified and they're scared and worried about their lives. Even the president of Ukraine, Zelenskyy, said, "I don't need a ride, I need ammunition." This leads us to lesson number 4. Be the person who leads. A Jewish Ukrainian family had 4 brothers. 3 of them were murdered by the Nazis and only 1 survived. His grandson is President Zelenskyy. The president of Ukraine has been showing the world the perfect example of what true leadership gets to look like. He knows firsthand what could happen if power spirals out of control. Whilst Putin is hiding away, Zelenskyy has been shown on the ground, standing with the people, fighting for his country. True leaders lead from the bottom up, not the top down. 5. Toxic cycles don't end unconsciously. If there's one thing that I teach people above all else, it is to be conscious of their thoughts and their decisions so that they can start making real lasting changes in their lives. What we're seeing in the world today is the result of people living unconsciously, generation after generation after generation. We are taught to avoid looking at problems that we're too afraid to face, to avoid feeling pain when we're too afraid to feel. Lesson number 6 is that we are all one. Albert Einstein famously said, "We experience ourselves, our thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness." Despite it seeming as though the world is full of many divisions, many experts throughout the course of human history truly believe that individual things are part of some fundamental entity. Therefore, we should be caring about what's happening in Ukraine as if it was happening to each and every single one of us right now. Which brings me to my last and most important point. 7. You have the power to help. Ukraine needs our help, financially and informationally, right now. They are in desperate need of humanitarian aid and support. Here is a list of several organizations that you can donate to. These are all vetted humanitarian causes that are directly linked to helping the people of Ukraine right now. You can also help by supporting your local Ukrainian businesses. And if you know anyone personally in Ukraine, reach out to them and ask them, "Are you okay? Can I support you in any way?" Ukraine also needs help in spreading information about what's happening in their country. So write a post, educate yourself on the topic, and tap the share button on this video, sharing it with your friends and your family. Ukraine, you are not alone. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Regan Hillyer. It's so important that we don't bypass these things that are happening globally on our planet right now and instead lean into them so we can see raw and real exactly what is going on. This is your opportunity to take a stand for peace, take a stand for truly leaving this world a better place, and take a stand for standing with Ukraine. Please share this video if it resonates. I love you so much.